I am fully aware that my preliminary task was unprofessional. This was partly down to the fact that I had used a handheld phone camera, and I now know that when producing a film it is much better to use a tripod and a professional camera. After watching my final opening sequence, I've realised that you get a much clearer shot which looks a lot better. Despite the fact I know you get a much cleaner shot on a tripod, I did use the camera handheld at some moments. An example of this is with the point of view shot from Slash watching the detective from behind the trees. Many professional film companies do this to add dramatic effect and capture the true emotion of the scene. After viewing my preliminary task multiple times, I can confirm handheld cameras create shakes and make the entire video look a mess. When filming my final product, I made sure to use a tripod, which means there were no shakes. The preliminary task taught me about the rules of filming. An example of this is with the 180-degree rule. This is a rule of shots between conversation with two people. When filming the conversation, I thought about an imaginary line between the two of them. I stayed on one side of the line to get all of these shots. If I was to cross over to the other side, the audience would become confused, as they would not be able to understand or follow what's going on. I made sure to follow this rule in my opening sequence. Another rule I learned during the preliminary task was match on action. This rule takes place during the editing stage, where you cut from one shot to another which matches the other shot's action, even if these shots may not have been filmed on the same day. Both shots should flow together and make it look as though the second shot is going on right after the previous shot. Once again, I successfully managed to follow this rule, not only in the preliminary task but in my final product. It made my opening sequence look more professional and made the video flow smoothly. This makes the audience understand what's going on in my opening sequence. Perhaps one of the main things I've learnt from my preliminary task is how music can complement a film and how it can help the audience to understand the scene better and tell them what to feel. It makes the entire film much more interesting and enjoyable for the audience. Music makes the scene flow. An example of music within my preliminary task is the comical music which plays when the bully, Sam Higgins, walks into the canteen and tells the audience that this is a comedy and that they should find it humorous. An example of how I have used music in my opening sequence is with the creepy intro music, which was Choose Your Fate by Escape the Fate. This kind of music makes the audience guess the genre. I know from my audience feedback it also gets faster. It also gets faster and heavier, which makes the audience apprehensive, as they know some action is about to happen, which it eventually does. After producing the finished product, I also discovered that multiple camera angles make the product much more interesting and professional. My opening sequence begins with a low-angle shot of the detective pacing his apartment. This shows that he is inferior to Slash, who he is trying to catch. It then cuts to some titles and then a medium shot of the detective walking towards the camera, only to then turn around in anger as he continues to pace the room. The music starts as soon as we see the detective pacing the room. This establishes what kind of mood he is in, which is an angry, apprehensive mood, as he wants to apprehend and capture Slash. The camera then cuts to a shot of the detective's feet as he paces up and down his apartment. After another shot showing titles and another low-angle shot of the detective pacing, it cuts to a point of view shot of the detective slowly scanning his wall with pictures of Slash on. This shows that the detective has an obsession with catching this killer. I have deliberately added various shots of the detective pacing his apartment as soon as if I had just one of the audience would have got bored and lost interest. I have put everything I have learned prior to making my opening sequence into my final product, and I believe I have made it to a high professional standard.